What is up, everybody? This is James from Greenleaf BBQ, and today I got something special. It's gonna be short, it's gonna be sweet, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna be recreating my style of the McDonald's McRib. So I'm gonna bring you guys in, I'm gonna show you how I prep my ribs. Come on in, I appreciate you guys tuning in and hope you guys enjoy. All right, everyone, so as you can see, we got a rack of ribs, right? We're gonna prep these ribs to get on this Traeger at 250 degrees. I'm gonna roll it just like I would do any kind of rib. But what we're gonna do, this thing looks very ugly, so I'm gonna take a lot of this off. But really what I'm looking at is I'm gonna use pretty much this bottom portion. So I'm gonna take a nice knife. You guys can use any kind of knife. You guys can use a regular knife, boning knife, fillet knife, whatever it is. But however you prep your ribs is how you should do it at home, right? So I'm gonna square these off competition style. I'm gonna take a lot of this rib tip off, take the membrane off, square these up, get them seasoned, get them on the grill, and we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm gonna take this last bone right here. I'm just gonna cut off that rib tip with my boning knife, right? Just along the knife, square it up. That's some meat candy for later. And then I'm also gonna follow this seam down. So this last bone right here, this spare bone, I'm just gonna follow it all the way down. So there's a lot of spare bones. As you can tell, this bone ends right here. And there's a lot of cross bones, right? So you can even take like an axe or a really sharp knife and just cut down, square those off. Rub my fingers down there. No sharp bones, no sharp edges. But there is, as you can see, there's this little bone right here that really doesn't need to be there. So take your knife, find out where that seam is, and cut that little piece off. And there we go. You can get all these little flaps that might burn off. Take that paper towel you had, just grab it, help square it off. All right, so now we squared it off. We got those rib tips off, we got those spare bones off. Now it's time for everyone's killer, the membrane. A lot of this, as you can see, the butcher, whoever did it, really messed up the membrane. So this one might be a little pain in the butt. And sometimes they take this skirt, right? So say we got the membrane off this skirt. If it's a little flabby like this, you can take a knife and just go a little bit across that to really flatten it out. Because a lot of that, you don't want to chew through all that membrane and gookiness, right? And then a lot of this hard fat toward the end. Obviously we took all that hard fat at the other end, but if you just take a paper towel and just pinch at it, at the end of the day, it's all about your personal preference, right? So that's all we're gonna do with that. Now I'm gonna bring you back in. We'll get the seasoning ready. All right, so today's seasoning, we're gonna be using two parts. We're gonna be using a regular coarse salt pepper. This is an 80-20 blend of salt, coarse pepper into salt. Then we're gonna finish it off with some Nilsa Wraps Damn AP Rub. And then come in with that AP. I always like to give all my rubs a shake, just so I can make sure everything's broken down. All right, so we've let it sit for about 5 minutes. All right, an hour has elapsed. The biggest thing about this, every hour for the first 3 hours, you want to come out and spritz. I'm spritzing with hot water. That's all I'm using, just hot water. All right, everyone, we hit that 3 hour mark. Now it's time to take our ribs off. I'm gonna take them off about 200 degrees. It's about roughly an hour and a half to 2 more hours, depending on how these things want to cook. So we're gonna add a lot of moisture, a lot of flavor. Once it hits 200 degrees, we're gonna take them off. We're gonna put a little bit of sauce on there, put them back on to set, and then it's time to build this McRibs. Before we get started, we're gonna do a nice layer, right? We got light brown sugar. I'm gonna take half the rest of this. Now this will be about a half a cup. Now you can use any kind of butter. I like the parquet butter. You can get that. And then to finish it off with some honey. This is Deluxe Honey. If you guys don't know him, check him out on Instagram. Amazing dude. So what I like to do, right? So we started out with bone side down. Now what's really important is when we put this back onto the wrap, we're gonna put it meat side down, right? We're gonna put the meat right on top of this. So what I like to do is that add a little bit more rub. Doesn't always hurt to add more flavor, right? And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the ribs. So if you guys can see this, the bark is set nice, the rub is set. It is time to wrap these babies, right? Right, so we put a little bit of brown sugar on the bottom, a little brown sugar on the top. Brown sugar. We got the butter. The honey. Put that back in there. Like I said, hit it with a little bit of that, more of that rub for color. And then finish it off with that sauce. Today we're using the Best Damn Barbecue Sauce, West Coast Tang. All right, so like I said, we got the brown sugar, the butter, we got the honey, we got the rub, and we got the sauce, right? So what I like to do, right, some people bring them together, roll them down, but for me, I like to take the temp, right? I don't like to puncture the aluminum foil. So actually what I do is I bring it over nice and tight, kind of like folding a present, right? And then just folding over the top like that. And what's that gonna do is when I open this one up, I can open that up and literally get my temperature right in between that meat. So I do it both ways, double wrap heavy duty aluminum foil. Get it back on the Traeger at 250. In about an hour, we'll check the internal. Some red bell pepper. This is just one of each, so there's no specific amount. We're just gonna top this with the McRib, and then I got some green onion. Now you could go any type of onion. You could do red onion, purple onion. So at this point, we're just gonna get that bread cut in half, get a little bit of that butter on there, and give it a nice sear on this Ranger. It is time to check this internal temperature of these ribs. Once they hit 200, we're gonna take them off. We're gonna throw that Best Damn Barbecue Sauce on top, let it get set, and it's time to build this McRib. All right, everyone, it is time to build this McRib. We got that toasted bun, we got that West Coast tang, we got the sauteed veggies, and of course, we'll not forget the pickles.